Hey everyone, it's Felix from To Felix with Love. Today I'm here at the I Am Awards pre-brunch celebration hosted by Benjamin Carlton. How's it going today, Ben?
It is better than I could ever imagine. DC showed up, people who came in for the award show showed up, and we just had a really great time of just celebrating each other, right? We often gather around our trauma or gather when tragedy happens, but what about just gathering to have some really good conversations, celebrate the work that we do, and just honor our journeys, our stories. So many people share today how they got to today, and I think it's so important that we learn that we're not the only ones going through what we're going through. So I am over the top filled with joy.
I am too. I'm so happy to be here. You know, that makes me think of something. We talk about our journeys often, and we do focus on what were the struggles that we had to go through. But I want to ask you, on your journey, what's the most rewarding part that you've experienced?
Wow. The most rewarding part, and I've learned this from my TV mentor, Oprah Winfrey, who says forgiveness is all about forgetting that you can change the past. Forget about changing the past. Forgiveness is about accepting what happened, acknowledging the experience, and then moving on from that moment. And so I think what is most rewarding is realizing that everything I went through was necessary. It was necessary to get me to this moment. It was necessary for me to have a story to help somebody else. It was necessary so that I could shine a light in dark places where people aren't free yet. And I don't want to go back and change anything. Yes, I would love a world that is more open and accepting and inclusive. I would love a world where I didn't need labels, or I would love a world where who I am isn't a threat as a black man or isn't an abomination as a gay man. But unfortunately, we don't live in that world. And everything I experienced was necessary for this moment right here and for the many lives that are touched from the stories that are told.
I love that answer. Now, something that you worked through is dealing with the church, and which we know is part of the reason why we have issues as black gay men in the community and dealing with our sexuality. What would you suggest to someone that's going through the same thing? What's one thing you could tell them to help them on that journey?
What I would tell that individual is to find God on your own. Find out who the creator is for yourself. De-gender the creator, de-color the creator, de-human the creator. We have an image of God that man has given us, but there's an image and a relationship with the divine that is solely unique to us. Just like there's no other person in the world with our fingerprint, there's no other person in the world with your relationship to the divine. So find out what that is, create it, build it, love it, accept it, and let that take you into the rest of your life. That's what I would recommend.
That's amazing advice. So something also, when it comes to activism, we're pretty much looking to fight for the freedom that we feel we deserve. What does freedom really look like to you?
Yeah, some really great questions. Freedom is the ability to show up as myself, how I and God ordained it, and to be able to walk in that without intimidation, without shame, without fear. That is true freedom. Walking in your calling that God called you to, finding out what that calling is, and being unapologetic about it. That's freedom to me.
Yeah, and freedom is something that we also always want to shoot for. So another question I have for you. As we are navigating this space of being gay in this world, do you think it's important for us to decipher the situations with race, or can we look at gay as all-encompassing, or do we need to divide ourselves?
We don't need to necessarily divide ourselves, but we need to understand the intersectionality of our journeys. When I walk through a door, I'm black. Whether I'm gay, straight, bi, non-binary, before you know anything about me, the first thing you will know is that I am black. My black black gay experience is different from a white gay experience in this country. And that goes for so many black queer people who are living this journey. And when they do stuff for LGBTQ, they often sweep our stories under the rug and not acknowledge our unique experience. And so it's so important to identify the intersectionality. And I have three. I am a black man, I am a man of faith, and I am a queer man. All of those have strong, strong, strong definitions and places you in society in a very strong way. And here I've mixed them all up. And so it's absolutely important that we acknowledge our journeys and acknowledge how different parts of ourselves intersect in the world.
I totally agree with that. And I do think that once we, as black people, once we recognize that that's how we identify and connect with each other, that's how we can break down some of the barriers that we have with homophobia, transphobia within our own community. So we say, we're all black.
Yeah.
That's how we connect with each other. So, and then we go from there.
It's impossible for you to say that the gay fight is not the black fight. I'm black and I'm gay. So the gay fight is the black fight. But oftentimes my gay fight is not acknowledged. Bayard Rustin, the creator and architect of the March on Washington with Martin Luther King, a black queer man. He wasn't allowed to be queer in black spaces. His fight is important. His story is important. They even used his story as a weapon and told Dr. Martin Luther King, if you continue with this march and if you disrupt the Democratic National Convention, we will start rumors that you and Bayard Rustin are having an affair. And unfortunately, Dr. Martin Luther King did distance himself for a moment. But he was Dr. Martin Luther King's mentor and so many other mentors, but his black queer story is swept under the rug. And so it's very important for us to know we are all black first. And any black person who is struggling, we are all struggling, no matter what that struggle is.
Yeah. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you.
So I'm really excited to have you here with me today. I thank you for sharing your journey with everyone. And another thing that's really important to me, not only healing your inner child, but nurturing. And I do everything in my power to make that little Felix inside me proud. What's something that you could say that little Bryn would be proud of today?
You want to bring the waterworks, don't you? Wow. What little Ben would be proud today. Little Ben would be proud that little Ben can be here. For so long, I have quieted little Ben. I have told him, and other people have told him, that he's not worthy to exist. And that little Ben is queer. That little Ben is masculine. That little Ben is feminine. That little Ben is loving. That little Ben is giving. And that little Ben just wants everybody to be okay. And I think he will be proud that he can finally show up. I let him out the room.
He's out.
Yeah.
Thank you again. Everyone can check out Benjamin's book, I'm Black, I'm a Minister, and I'm Gay,
at www.blacklovewins.com, blacklovewins.com. You can always bet on Black Love to save the day.
Always bet on Black love. Thank you again.